Hello, dear children. How are you? I hope you all are in the best of your health and enthusiastic towards your studies. Children, today we are going to discuss chapter number 13 of class 8th science, that is sound. So, first of all, let us see what we already know about it. How do you come to know that a period is going to over in your school? Can you able to recognize your parents by only hearing their voice? When you play hide and seek game, how a blindfolded person is able to guess which player is near to him or her? Yes, sound is the answer to all these questions. Sound plays an important role in our lives. So, let us see what we are going to discuss in this chapter. What is sound? How sound is produced? Sound produced by humans. Sound needs a medium for propagation. Characteristics of sound: audible and inaudible sounds, noise pollution, and measures to limit noise pollution. So, dear children, we are going to discuss all these topics in detail. What is sound? Sound is a form of energy which produces a sensation of hearing in our ears. We hear a variety of sounds in our surroundings. Every object has its specific sound, like tick-tock sound of the needles of a clock, sound of a switch while switching it on or off, or sound of a fan during its rotation. So, in this way, sound plays an important role in our lives. It helps us to communicate with one another. Now, let us see how sound is produced. Sound is produced by the vibration of the object. The to and fro or back and forth motion of an object is called vibration. A sound is produced because of vibration. Let's see some examples. With the help of a hammer, fix two nails on the wooden board. Tie a rubber band between the two ends of the nails. Stretch the rubber band and then leave it. What have you observed? The rubber band vibrates and produces sound. When the vibrations of the rubber band stop, no sound is produced. Let's see one more example. Take a metal dish, pour water in it, and strike it at its edges with a spoon. Look at the surface of water. You have seen that waves are produced in water due to vibration of the dish. From these examples, it can be concluded that sound is produced by a vibrating body. Can you think any other example for this? Yes, if you are thinking about any musical instrument, then you are absolutely right. Ektara, manjira or cymbals, and the ghatam are some of the examples of musical instrument which produced a pleasant musical sound. These musical instruments are simply beaten or struck to produce sound. Dear children, you can also make a musical instrument. take 6 to 8 tumblers. Fill them with water up to different levels, increasing gradually from one end to other. Now take a pencil and strike the tumblers gently. Strike all of them in succession. You will hear a pleasant sound. Children, this is your Jal Tarang. When we pluck the string of an instrument like sitar, the sound that we hear is not only that of the string. The whole instrument is forced to vibrate, and it is the sound of the vibration of the instrument that we hear. Similarly, when we strike the membrane of a mridangam, the sound that we hear is not only that of the membrane, but of the whole body of the instrument. Dear children, now let's see how sound is produced in humans. Put your hand on your throat as shown while talking. Do you feel any vibrations? Yes. In humans, the sound is produced by the voice box or the larynx. Put your fingers on the throat and find a hard bump that seems to move when you swallow. This part of the body is known as the voice box. It is at the upper end of the windpipe. Two vocal cords are stretched across the voice box or larynx in such a way that it leaves a narrow slit between them for the passage of air. When the lungs force air through the slit, the vocal cords vibrates, producing sound. Muscles attached to the vocal cords can make the cords tight or loose. When the vocal cords are tight and thin, the type or quality of voice is different from that when they are loose and thick. Quality of voice also depends on the length of the vocal cords. Men have longer vocal cords of about 20 millimeter, whereas length of the vocal cords of a female is about 15 millimeter, and children have very small vocal cords. That is why there is a lot of difference between voices of men, women and children. Dear children, now let us see medium for propagation of sound. When you call up your friend who is standing at distance, your friend is able to hear your voice. Have you ever thought that how does the sound travel to your friend? Actually, sound needs a medium to travel. When air has been removed completely from a vessel, it is said that there is a vacuum in the vessel. Does sound travels through vacuum? Let's check it out. Place an electric bell inside a glass bell jar and connect it to a battery and key through connecting wires. When the circuit is closed, you able to listen the sound of the bell? Yes, you can see hammer of the bell is striking the gong and you hear the sound of the bell. Now, remove the air from the bell jar with the help of the vacuum pump and switch on the bell too. You will see that as the air is taken out, the loudness of the sound decreases and become too faint. Finally, you do not hear the sound of the bell. Children, why it happens? Because all the air from the jar is taken out by vacuum pump and creates vacuum in the bell jar. And due to absence of air, we are not able to hear the sound of the bell. So dear children, from this activity, it is proved that sound requires a medium to travel. Does sound travel in solid and liquids? Let's find out. Children, can you easily hear the sound of the bell present in your surrounding? Yes, but can you be able to hear the sound in water too? Let's find out. Take a bucket and fill it with clean water. Take a small bell and shake this bell inside the water to produce sound. Make sure that the bell does not touch the body of the bucket. Place your ear gently on the water surface and be careful, the water should not enter in your ear. Can you hear the sound of the bell? Yes, you can hear the sound of the bell. This activity indicates that sound travels through liquids also. Let's find out if sound can travel through solids. Place your ear at one end of a long wooden table and ask your friend to gently scratch the other end. Can you hear the scratching sound? Yes, you can hear that sound. Now, let's play an interesting game and make a toy telephone. For this, you have to join two paper glasses with the help of a string as shown. When one of your friend talk at one side, you can easily hear his voice on other side. Hello, I am Rajvi. What is your name? Do you want to play this game? You can make your toy telephones at your homes. So, we have learnt that sound can travel through solid, liquid, gases and also through strings. But sound cannot travel through vacuum. Structure of human ear. We are able to hear sounds from our surroundings through our sensory organ called ear. How our ear enables us to hear sound? Before this, let's perform one more activity. Take a can and place a phone inside it. Now, stretch a piece of rubber balloon on its opening. Now, place some amount of sand on the balloon and ring the bell of the phone present inside the can. Observe the jumping or vibrations of the sand particles. Dear children, similarly, when sound enters in our ear, it travels down a canal called auditory canal. At the end of the canal, a thin membrane is stretched tightly. It is called the eardrum. It performs similar function to the rubber balloon stretched on the can. The eardrum is like a stretched rubber sheet at the end of the auditory canal. Sound vibrations make the eardrum vibrate. Eardrum sends vibrations to the inner ear. From here, the signals goes to the brain, and that is how we hear. Characteristics of sound. First character is amplitude. Amplitude of a sound determines its loudness. Loudness of sound is proportional to the square of the amplitude of the vibrations producing the sound. For example, if the amplitude becomes twice, the loudness increases by a factor of 4. The loudness is expressed in a unit called decibel, dB. The following table shows loudness of some sound coming from various sources. For example, loudness of normal breathing is about 10 decibel. Loudness of a soft whisper is about 30 decibels. Loudness of normal conversation is about 60 decibels. Loudness at busy traffic is up to 70 decibel, and loudness at average factory site is about 80 decibel. Above 80 decibels, the noise becomes physically painful. Frequency of oscillation. We learned that to and fro motion of an object is known as vibration. This motion is also called oscillatory motion. So, the number of oscillations per second is called the frequency of oscillation. Its unit is Hertz, Hz. The frequency determines the shrillness or pitch of the sound. If the frequency of vibration is higher, we say that the sound is shrill and has a higher pitch. And if the frequency of vibration is lower, we can say that the sound has a lower pitch. Time period. The time taken to complete one oscillation is called the time period. The time period is measured in seconds. Now, dear children, let us discuss audible and inaudible sounds. The sounds which we are able to hear is called audible sound. For human ear, the range of audible frequencies is 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz. Whereas human ears cannot detect the sounds of frequencies less than 20 Hz and more than 20,000 Hz. Such sounds are called inaudible sounds. Now, dear children, let us learn about noise pollution. Presence of excessive or unwanted sounds in the environment is called noise pollution. There are so many reasons for this, like sound of vehicles, explosions including bursting of crackers, machines, loudspeakers, televisions and transistors, radios at high volume, some kitchen appliances, etc. These are some sources of noise pollution. Now, let us see harms of noise pollution. Presence of excessive noise in the surroundings may cause many health related problems like lack of sleep, hypertension or high blood pressure, anxiety, heart attack and temporary or permanent impairment of hearing. Now, let us see some measures to limit noise pollution. To control noise, we must control the sources of noise. For this, silencing devices must be installed in home appliances, vehicles and on any other machines. Noisy operations and noise producing industries should be set up away from the residential areas. Use of automobiles' horns should be minimized. TV and music system should be run at low volumes. Trees must be planted along the roads and around buildings to cut down the sound reaching the residents. Dear children, now let us revise the chapter. Sound is produced by vibrating objects. Sound travels through a medium like gas, liquid or solid. The number of oscillations per second is called the frequency of the oscillation. The frequency is expressed in hertz, Hz. Larger the amplitude of vibration, the louder is its sound. Unpleasant sounds are called noise. Dear children, now let's do some questions and I know that you all know the answers. First question, sound is a form of dash. Yes, sound is a form of energy. Second, sound is produced by a dash body. Which kind of bodies can produce sound? Yes, vibrating bodies can produce sound. Question number 3. Name the sound producing organ in humans. Absolutely right. The sound producing organ in humans is larynx or voice box. What is the audible range of human ear? Yes, it is from 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz. Now, I have a question for you which you have to think and write in your notebooks. The question is, what is noise pollution and how we can limit it? Read the chapter properly and try to answer this question. So, like this, we are here in the end of the chapter. In this chapter, we have discussed so many interesting things like how sound is produced, how we are able to hear the sound, what are audible and inaudible sounds, and what is noise pollution and what we can do to stop the noise pollution. So, I hope you all have learned this chapter nicely. So keep studying, keep smiling and stay safe. Thank you.